A vast, frozen Arctic landscape at twilight. Deep blue tones, jagged ice cliffs stretching to the horizon. An eerie atmosphere of silence and ancient mystery. Cinematic lighting. World War II-era Nazi officers gathered around a glowing Arctic map in a dark war room, marked with red pins and secret routes toward the North Pole. Dramatic shadows, historical realism, abandoned Nazi outpost buried in Arctic snow, rusted antennas barely visible above ice, storm clouds rolling in, remnants of a lost mission. Documentary style. Top-down view of classified Nazi documents with Arctic coordinates, faded ink, strange symbols, and occult references, lying on a wooden table lit by a single lantern. Nighttime Arctic sky glowing with mysterious auroras. A Nazi soldier in winter gear looking up in confusion. Radio tower behind him emitting red light. Surreal, mysterious mood. Arctic opening landscape. In the desolate expanse of the Arctic, silence reigns. But beneath the snow and ice, something waits. A forgotten trace of one of history's darkest regimes. Map room in Berlin. As the world waged war, a quiet front opened far to the north. Here, under endless skies, the Nazis pursued something few could understand and fewer dared to speak of. Hitler studying polar legends. Adolf Hitler's obsession with mythology and hidden knowledge wasn't mere fantasy. His eyes turned toward the pole, to legends of lost lands, ancient power, and a doorway beneath the ice. Nazi Arctic submarine departure. In 1942, under the codename Schatzgräber, a team was dispatched. Officially, a weather station. Unofficially, a quest. U-boat in Arctic waters. They departed under cover of night. A convoy of scientists, soldiers, and cryptographers, bound for a place where maps end and compasses lie. Arrival at Alexandra Land. After weeks of travel, they reached their destination, Alexandra Land. Frozen, isolated, perfect. Building the Arctic Station. They built a station unlike any other. Part scientific outpost, part military fortress. It was concealed from the sky and insulated from the world, transmitting radio signals. From this ice-locked camp, they transmitted signals, recorded patterns, measured fields. They believed they were on the brink of something extraordinary. Harsh life in the station, but conditions worsened. The cold invaded their bones. Food spoiled. Equipment broke. Illness took hold. Men began to see things. Strange Arctic lights. Lights danced in patterns too perfect to be natural. Instruments failed. The wind carried sounds that resembled whispers, in languages none could identify. Radio distress signal. One night, a distress call was sent. The Reich responded. A single aircraft braved the storm, retrieved the survivors, and left the base to the frost. Base abandoned under snow. Time passed, the world moved on, and the Arctic buried what was left. Soviet explorers discover ruins. Decades later, Soviet explorers stumbled upon the ruins, buried beneath snow, yet eerily preserved. Nazi documents found. They found documents, tools, insignia, and maps, not just of the land, but of the unknown. Coordinates to places that didn't officially exist. Ancient symbols and runes. Among the artifacts were symbols drawn from ancient myth, Hyperborea, runes, vague diagrams of hollow chambers beneath the ice. Hollow Earth theory. What had they uncovered? A weather station or a gateway? Expert interviews. Experts debated. Conspiracies flourished, but the truth remained frozen, just out of reach. Nazis and the Hollow Earth. Then came the theories that the Nazis were searching for the Hollow Earth, that they believed in an inner world accessible through the poles, a place where ancient powers slept. Satellite images and symbols. Satellite images began to circulate. Strange patterns in Arctic rock formations, too symmetrical to be chance. Nazi geomagnetic research. Some say was geomagnetic mapping. Others whisper of darker purposes. Technology not meant for war, but for contact. Base now buried again. Still, the evidence remains scattered. The base, lost again beneath snow. The men, dead or silent. Frozen notebooks and journals, yet new findings emerged. Frozen notebooks, pages stained with frost, filled with sketches of impossible machines, and light patterns repeating like coded messages. Journal diagrams and messages. Skeptics scoffed, but then came the magnetic anomalies. Flight paths disturbed, instruments corrupted, pilots reporting strange energy fields, all near the same coordinates. Airspace restricted. The region was marked off-limits. Governments cited weather. Researchers weren't convinced. Declassified Nazi files. And then the documents. Declassified, partially redacted, but clear enough. The mission had deeper aims. To locate something beneath the ice. Something they never named. Interviews with survivors. Was it power? A weapon? Or knowledge that should have stayed buried? Veterans' testimonies. Survivors were hard to find. Those who spoke did so only once, describing things that made no sense, humming beneath the ground, machines that operated on no fuel, and tunnels that led downward. Airspace rejected testimonies, all were dismissed. Madness, hallucination, exposure, international confirmations, but the stories matched from multiple nations, multiple decades, satellite scans and heat. Even today, satellite scans reveal heat signatures in places that should be solid permafrost, structures hidden in ridges, camouflaged by snow. Possible Nazi activity today. Some believe they still operate, that whatever was built there never fully shut down. Modern pilots avoid region. Military flights avoid the region. Drones lose signal. And compasses, they still spin. German archives sealed. In Germany, fragments of the mission's archives remain. Locked, redacted, too dangerous, some say, to release. Investigators connect clues. What were they protecting? Or who? Maps and rune alignments. A few historians push forward, connecting dots, finding patterns. But for every answer, 3 new questions emerge. Hitler and esoteric beliefs. Because this was never just a mission. It was a belief that the Arctic held a key to origins, to destiny, to something older than man. Hitler's map and ideologies. And Hitler? He believed it was his to find. Hitler's map and ideologies. And Hitler? He believed it was his to find. Thawing ice reveals ruins.